gentlemen, we are back with another episode of the Trey Tape. Last week was soccer. This week we move to softball. I'm joined here by longtime head coach of the softball team, Dan Gierlak. Coach, really appreciate you helping us out and being on the podcast today.
It's great to be here, Trey. I appreciate you asking.
I appreciate that, Coach.
I just hope I wonder why I'm behind soccer. That's the only problem.
I'm sorry, we're mixing it up a little bit. Don't worry.
Get together.
So, Coach, I kind of like to start out by getting a feel for, how everybody is doing. And I know everybody's like, Coach, what's your strategy for this? Or, Coach, what are you going to do in a situation like this? Nobody really asks about the family side of it. And, we're in such a troubling time here in America right now. And I just kind of want to know, like, what precautions have you taken for yourself, but also for your family during this COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, I think when it first started, no one really knew, and even the family, we stayed at home. Lauren moved back home. Joey was there. I was the only one that was allowed to go to the grocery store. Everyone else stayed in for the most part. So we've tried to, protect ourselves with that. We actually stayed away from, my wife's mother lives in town, and like on Easter, we stayed at her back porch, and we were on one side, she was on the other side.
Right.
But at least we got a chance to see her. So we have, protected ourselves in that and tried to stay, especially early, just with the family and not because nobody knew.
Right.
So, which who knows whether we've had it, we've been exposed to it before. We don't know that at this point. So, but it was good.
And, you talked about Lauren moving home and Joey coming back as well. While being quarantined, I know at a period of time, everybody couldn't do anything. We couldn't go out. How was it to be able to spend more time with your kids? Not like we know you coach your daughter, but how was it to be just a father figure and just spend time with her without softball being involved?
You look at that, Trey, it was great because we spend so much time. I've spent so much time with my kids on the fields. That even from, coming home for dinner at night is always 8:30, 9 o'clock, 7:30, we're planning meals or whatever. This was totally different in that every day, the meals were planned. Okay. We knew what was going. Started in the morning or, I started making some ribs so it gave us a chance really to bond back together as a family, not just around the athletic fields. We were eating at, Joey said one day at 4 o'clock, he goes, I'm not used to eating at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
And it was something that we'd always gone through during that season. When the kids were younger, we were always, as soon as you get home from school or as soon as, boom, go to a game. And so that gave us time just to kind of relax and be around each other. Did a lot in the yard, and just had fun with them outside of doing athletics.
And that's kind of everybody I've kind of talked to who has kids has said the same thing. It's nice to just get away and do something different. And, I'm happy for you. You got that chance with your kids and also your wife. Now, moving over to the softball aspect of it, and, this is kind of impressive, not many people can say you've been coaching for over 3 decades and, you've been through a lot, you've seen a lot. And I kind of got to know, how have you kept yourself, but also your coaching staff prepared just for a possible season this spring?
Well, I think it's, with Joey being there and Joey spent a lot of time working on, we spent a lot of time doing Zooms with different people as far as hitting goes. So we've changed that a little bit. He's, I think he's taken that on and also he did a thing with movement, with athletes and movement stuff. So I think it gave us time to spend a little time away from what we normally do and find out new things that we can do. And the same with Taylor. Taylor now, what I said with her to help her professionally down the road is to take over the pitchers. You know, I fired myself as a pitching coach and named her as the pitching coach. So, you know, I think the pitchers will like that. But it's something that she needed to do, you know, for herself to learn that side of it. So I think, you know, whenever we come back together, it'll be really good because we know what's going on a little bit more. You know,
it sounds like
new ideas.
Right. And it sounds like you guys have a smooth transaction, have things set in place. Now, kind of getting into your players. And, you know, the thing is with COVID-19, I know that NCAA gave everybody another extra year for that. And my thing is you lost a veteran player in Shannon Gilbert, who to graduation, but also got a job. And congrats to her. And I'm glad she's moving on. But you do get Jolene Teller and your daughter, Lauren Gierlak, back. Now, what are your expectations for those two who have so much experience in playing in the PSAC? As we both know that this is a very competitive conference. So going back into this spring, what are your expectations for your two leaders when you guys do get to rejoin together?
Well, I think it's, you know, Shannon was kind of torn what to do. And what I encouraged her to do was, you know, first off, you got to phys ed job. Those are hard to come by. Right. So it was probably an easier decision, you know, once you got that offer. You know, yeah, we lost Shannon, but Lauren's going into the MBA program, and Jolene was in the MBA program anyways. So those two kids bring a great amount of experience to our team. They can help these kids through, you know, the conference, and not only the conference, but, you know, our preseason schedule, which is not easy. Right. You know, you've seen that who we're playing against. So I think the biggest thing is with these kids, they see those two's work ethics, okay, which are outstanding, and they want to be like them, you know, or they see Lauren running or Joe doing extra hitting, then that's what they want to do. You know, because that's what's made them successful. Right. It's not just the time you put in when you're supposed to be there, but it's the little things afterwards that you do. And those two kids are great with that. And just in our conference now, being a fifth year person, now it's not quite as you know, I quoted Dana Webb. Her fifth year was incredible. Okay. You see things a little bit different. You're a little more mature. You don't, not everything is, I don't want to say a life and death or in that aspect, but yet you're a little more mature in how you handle things. Right. It's not a catastrophe if things don't go right. You know, so they're mentally a lot stronger. And I think that'll help us with our freshmen last year and the freshmen coming in. I think the biggest thing about our freshmen from last year is they become sophomores. That's a huge difference. It is. That's a huge difference. And I can see it in majority of the kids that are here, that there is a difference in them, you know, because they've seen the conference. They've seen not so much a conference, but they've seen the level of competition they need to be at and know where they got to get to.
And actually kind of lead me into my next question is, you have probably one of the youngest underclassmen groups coming back, and they do have, unfortunately, that last year, 12 games, I mean, because of COVID-19, kind of, that's all they got was 12 games. But I got to see personally the competition you guys were playing down in Florida. Now, since you do have one of the youngest groups coming back, but probably one of the most experienced playing some great competition, what are your expectations for your freshmen who become sophomores when they get a chance to play in the PSAC conference?
You know, I think that, like I said, the biggest thing is those kids become sophomores, and it's a great experience. And my expectations are to go after the conference and win, you know, the conference. That's what my expectations are all the time. Now, last year is a little different. I think that we needed to grow a little bit. You can't replace 12 seniors like we did and anticipate all those freshmen playing, but they learned a lot from that. They grew. And my expectations when we get together is those kids know what is expected of them now.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know what was expected of them in the past.
Right.
Now they know the level of competition. They know what we're up against. And I think for the most part, these kids will be outstanding.
And Coach, I really appreciate you being on here. I just want to ask one more thing. I don't want to take too much more of your time. When you do get to rejoin, possibly this coming spring, what are the goals for a Dan Gierlak softball team?
My biggest thing is that we go out every day and compete. Those kids need to compete every day, and I think that they are learning to do that. I think that's one of the hardest things to get a kid from high school that's on a travel team, that's on that anticipates playing all the time. Mm-hmm. That okay, now you got to come in every day and compete, whether it's in the classroom or on the field. Mm-hmm. When they compete, then we have something. Mm-hmm. That I want these kids to respect the game and play it like it's meant to be played. Mm-hmm. And they will learn. It was a big jump for them last year. Mm-hmm. So my expectations are that we're going after the conference. Everybody, that's mm-hmm. ours to win. Mm-hmm. So that's how I coach. That's how those are our expectations. Right. There's not a team that in our conference that we can't beat. Mm-hmm. There's not a team that in the conference that can't beat us either. Mm-hmm. So we got to go every day to compete. And I think that's a biggest thing. And towards the end of last year, we started competing more and more as it went on. Mm-hmm. I think we started competing better and better, and they learned from it. So, but that's my expectations, that we become a team. You understand that there's great love between one another, and you become a team. That it's about the team. It's not about you as an individual. It's about the team, and they get that, we'll be in great shape. So.
Hey, Coach, it sounds like you have your team heading in the right direction, and COVID-19, it sounds like it really hasn't put a damper on anything you guys are trying to achieve. I wish nothing but the best of luck to you and your team come this spring, and I just really appreciate you joining on here on the Trey Take. Thanks, Coach.
Hey, the Trey Take, anytime you need to fill in a half hour, just let me know, because I can fill in some time. So, you got a firsthand look at what we do every day, and being last year and know our expectations and how I coach. And I enjoy what I do. And I think that's part of, being here as long as I have. I come in every day and get fired up about, seeing the kids and going to practice. So, I have fun at it. So.
Hey, and Coach, why not? Why shouldn't you? You love what you do, and it's great to see you're doing well. So appreciate you really being on here, and thanks again, Coach.
Thanks, Trey.